how can you not love the end of that football game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Atlanta Falcons? If you're just crawling out from under a rock, the Falcons did win 29-22. The score not indicative of how great and how close this football game was. San Francisco goes up 19-10 with 10:07 to go. Kyle Juszczyk with a 2-yard touchdown reception off of Jimmy Graham. And you're looking then going, all right, the Falcons offense has been absolutely stuck in mud. Not able to run the ball. Matt Ryan not having a ton of time to throw the football. They weren't doing very much. So you kind of figured it 19-10. I know I did. I was listening to Wes and Dave on the Falcons radio network, and I go, all right, might be time now to walk back into the mall, finish up my Christmas shopping, which, by the way, 9 hours of Christmas shopping in one day, way too much. But we had to make sure the kids were taken care of, had to go out, appreciate all the people that I work for. I had a couple of paychecks come in all at the same time. So it was time to go Christmas shopping, make sure the tree looks really good when Santa Claus comes to town here in about 11 days. But listening to Wes and Dave, they go up 19-10, and I go, all right, Falcons haven't played well. San Francisco's at home. They're looking for home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They just had a huge win a week ago against the Saints on the road. They're probably going to hold on and get this. Well, the Falcons showed a whole lot of resolve coming down the stretch. You get a Quadri Allison 1-yard run to make it 19-17 with 5:15 left. Figuring now, okay, we've got to get a stop defensively, and then we'll get the ball back and see how it works out. Well, San Francisco gets a couple of first downs. They matriculate down the field. They get into field goal range. Falcons get a stop on third down. They actually, if my sequencing is right, they force a fumble from George Kittle. The ball goes out of bounds, but he was ruled that the fumble occurred inbound. Some reason they couldn't stop the clock. Falcons had to punch a timeout. Either way, a great play defensively to set up Robbie Gould, who ends up hitting the field goal, 43 yardage, 22-17 with a $1.48, and the Falcons had one timeout left. This is where I love to rub it in the face of Falcon haters or Falcon fans who, for whatever reason, just don't like Matt Ryan. If you've listened to me for a long time, you know I really appreciate Matt Ryan, the quarterback that he is. He's a guy that fights his ass off. He's scrappy. He's great. He now has 38 come-from-behind victories in his career, which, by the way, is the most in the NFL since Matt Ryan's been a quarterback in the NFL, and that was in 2008. So for people that say he's not clutch, I tell you, clutch these, because you obviously have some predetermined hatred towards Matt Ryan. What he did yesterday to slice and dice one of the best defenses in the NFL, get down into scoring range. Austin Hooper tried to come up with a great catch. Review overturns it with 4 seconds left. You're thinking, okay, we've been here before. Let's think. San Francisco 2012, 4th down and 3. Roddy White, although he gets mugged, no call. Falcons lose, don't go to the Super Bowl. Let's move ahead. Let's think. Philadelphia, 4th down and 3, 9-yard line, NFC divisional game, chance to go to the NFC championship game in back-to-back years. Well, can't get the job done. Julio Jones slips on the route, gets pushed, maybe mugged a little bit, has the ball go through his hands, although he was not going to come down in bounds. Either way, Falcons lose. In San Francisco, last game at Candlestick Park, I think they were marching down the field. Matt Ryan ends up throwing a pick six. Point being, there's been a lot of times down at the end where they've needed a touchdown and have not come up with a touchdown. I think the opener against Philly in 17 or 18 may have had the same thing happen there. But yesterday, Matt gets down the field. We mentioned it's 4 seconds left. It's score a touchdown or go home loser. He hits Julio Jones. Matt definitely steps up in the pocket in between his left guard and left tackle. Jake Matthews out there. Slides the ball to Julio Jones on a shallow drag. Julio gets hit. Great tackle by number 20 for San Francisco. But the replay, perfectly, right down the line, you could see clear as day. Julio Jones, the ball had broken the plane of the end zone. Touchdown. Falcons take the lead, 23-22 in that scenario. It may have been 24-22. I believe, no, it was 23-22 in that scenario. They decide for San Francisco on the kick to play razzle-dazzle. We're going to throw the ball around, try to come back, and the Falcons recover it in the end zone for a touchdown and actually win 29-22, which I think the over-under was 50.5 or 51.5, somewhere right in there. Anyway, that score really hurt bettors in Las Vegas. If you had San Francisco plus the 10.5, or minus the 10.5, excuse me, you were dead man walking anyway. But I say that to say this. Falcons showed a lot of heart yesterday, a lot of desire, a lot of will. Because let's be real, it could have been very easy for the Falcons and that team going cross-country, to a place playing a better football team. I mean, San Francisco is going to be one of the favorites, point blank. They're going to be one of the favorites as far as teams that are going to go deep into the playoffs. Hell, they may represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan's got a great defense. He's got an offense that can roll. They run it well when they need to throw it. George Kittle's basically unstoppable at tight end. So they have things that have continued to work in their favor. But instead of the Falcons laying down and taking a loss, they go out there and they grab a win. And this has gotten under the skin of a lot of fans around the city of Atlanta. And I can understand to a certain extent, because a fan looks at this, and don't get me wrong, I'm a fan just like you are. I just happen to work in the NFL for a long time, and I've done radio in this city for a long time. A fan looks at it with one thing in mind. Playoffs are out of reach, which is true. We're eliminated from the playoffs. No chance of going anywhere. The only thing we're thinking about now is draft choices next year. Now, mind you, in between the time the season ends and you get to the NFL draft, there's this thing called free agency. There'll be times where they're going to cut some players. They're going to add some players back into the equation. So the draft, while it's sexy and we all love it, and, we pay attention to it for those 3 days. We spend like 4.5 months talking about the draft, and then 3 days covering it, and then about 3 months afterwards talking about the free agents that you signed and the draft choices that you acquired, and you formulate an opinion about the next season. The problem is actual NFL organizations do not think this way. Tanking is a media and fan-based word. Never in the history of any organization will they openly say, we are